All right, so for everyone who knows me, my name is Hasey, and I work with SmartAge as the Senior Marketing Strategist and the Social Media Manager. So firstly, thank you to everyone for joining us. I hope you guys find this very informational. There are a few things that we're going to cover on this webinar. I hope that by the end of this, you guys will be able to go over decisions that you need in order to make your shop run smoothly. We're going to show you how to actually set up your shop, and we're going to go over a few features that you can take advantage of once that's set up. All right, so let's get right into it. Perfect. So the first thing that you may be asking is, how are people actually going to buy your products on your social channels? So this is all done through the content that you share, whether it be a Facebook post, a Facebook story, you going live and sharing something, or directly through your shop. So being able to go to someone's shop and then just checking out through there. These are the features that just allow people to have them check out. Now, the first thing that you want to decide that we're going to go over is what checkout option is right for you. So you have a total of 3 checkout options. The first one is checking out through Facebook and Instagram. The second one is through your website, and the third is through Messenger. So with this, there's always a lot of questions on which one is the right one. We're going to go over all of them and then just, sorry guys, give me 1 second. There's more people coming in. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so in terms of checkout, 2 options that we recommend. Out of these 3, we recommend Facebook, Instagram checkout, which is the one that I think you guys have the most questions about, or the website checkout, which means that they see the product, they check out through your website. They're redirected from the product to your website. So the first one that we're going to go over is the Facebook checkout. This is where someone is able to actually make the purchase without ever leaving the app. The pros to this is that because it's set up through Facebook and Instagram, you do get a lot more features. So things like Instagram live shopping, product release launches, and more. So as Facebook and Instagram develops these new features for you to try out, people who have the checkout option set up through Facebook and Instagram do get priority. So that's something to look into. The second option is, the cons to this is Facebook does take a percentage of every single sale. So I think it's about a 3 to 4%. That's something that we can confirm after, but that's the first con. The second con is you don't actually get to leverage your site setup. So people who have maybe the chat setup or text messaging or anything that services your customer, that's not something that you would be able to leverage since they're not actually going onto your website. So now going over quickly checking out on your website, the pro is exactly what we just went over, is you actually get to service your customers. So everything that you have set up on your site to give them that customer experience, whether it be chat, store hours, contact us button, being able to call you right away, that's something that does benefit with having it set up so that you check out on your site. The main con to this is that it is very manual and time consuming. So you have to be very good at having someone who is, just always adding products, maybe changing products. If you guys get new inventory, someone needs to manually just constantly be, changing that up. So it does take a lot of resources. You do have to have someone that either knows how to add products or someone that is experienced with this. Perfect. So I hope that you guys have some kind of idea on which one you would choose. They're both equally as good. The first option is just one that, of course, Facebook does take away a cut from it, but you also just have to make sure that you have someone that's always there and constantly monitoring with the second option. Perfect. So now that you have an idea of which one you're going to go with, the first thing that you're going to do is set up your commerce manager. So I included a little thing here that you guys can actually take a picture of that's going to take you to the landing page that you see here. This is where you're just going to start setting everything up. I'm going to show this again later on towards the end of the presentation, but I'm going to give you guys just a few seconds to either jot it down or take a picture and hopefully get to this landing page. Perfect. Okay, so now that you're on this landing page, this is where you set up your commerce manager. To be clear, or just to clarify something very quickly, you're setting this up on Facebook, but it's going to feed through to your Instagram. So you may be asking like, well, isn't this an Instagram thing? Yes, it is, but it feeds through. So first setup is through Facebook. You have to do it on a desktop, which is why you guys have that link, which I'll show you again later, but that's where you start. So you guys are going to fall into two categories here. Either you have a partner set up, which means that you probably have a Shopify website, a BigCommerce, or these other options that I'll show you guys in a second, or you don't have any of these and you're doing a manual setup. How do you know if you fall in the first category? If you guys deal with any of these, then they have their own setup that's a lot easier. In that case, you really don't have to go through these steps. But if you do fall underneath the manual setup, the good news is that it only takes 5 minutes. So again, first thing is choose your checkout method. The reason why I had this as its own little block is because this is probably the most important decision that you're going to make in this entire process. Depending on which one you choose, you'll have some access to certain things, you may not have access to other things, but it also requires really sitting down with your staff and deciding, okay, what's the plan of action? If we check out on our website, who's going to add products? Who's going to monitor this? If you check out with Facebook and Instagram, same thing. You have to make sure that that process is seamless because, again, they're not giving the option of maybe calling you guys if they have any problems or anything like that. So the second thing that you're going to do is choose your sales channel. Most people just have one, which is the usual setup. But if you're a business that operates, maybe you have multiple stores or anything like that, then you do have multiple options. So the third thing is adding products through your catalog. The catalog is what holds all of the products. So when you go on Instagram shop and you see the shopping feature, that's all added through Facebook and then fed through to Instagram through this catalog. Okay, so I want to take a second here because this is the second most important part. After choosing your checkout method, you really, again, have to sit down and think about a few things. Firstly, what products are right for me to choose? Some retailers have all of their products preloaded. Some retailers may choose to have certain brands preloaded. Now, a couple of notes on this. It's very important that you think about what products, may sell online. So if you're someone who carries popular designers, such as, I don't know, the Gucci Ghost Ring, that's something that sells a lot online. Cartier, or if you know that there's a certain line that just very well sells online for you guys, then those are the products that you want to add. It's very important, once again, that you maybe speak to your brand's team. So if you, let's say, add David Yurman products, it's important to make sure that you're following their guideline, whether it's how you name the products or if you can even show pricing. I know that some brands have some rules about that. So it's very important that, once again, you sit down and you really analyze, okay, what am I doing? What products am I choosing? Some people may have questions such as how many catalogs should I make? So you can decide to have catalogs per designer. You can decide to have catalogs per collection. Again, it really is all about how you want to organize this. Do you need to add all of your products right away? The answer is no, you do not. So this process that we're going through, you can easily just set up a few products and then later on decide to add the rest of it. Some people may be asking, what designer should I choose? Again, this is where you just look at your analytics, you look at what is popular in your area. Maybe there's a certain line that you guys are known for. That's what you just want to make sure that you're focusing on. Last step is just add your website. Double check and submit. Make sure that everything is correct. Again, you do not have to have all of your products at once. You can come back to this and add some more later on. And after that, you're all set up. So I'm adding another link down here that you may want to make sure to jot down. This is the back end of where you're going to manage everything. So after you have your shop set up, again, it's important to have one person that's going to sit down and familiarize themselves with this back end, someone who's maybe going to look at the insights, run some ads, and everything that you have access to over here. Okay, so now you set up your shop. A lot of retailers get stuck here. They set up their shop, but they go on their Instagram and they notice that there's no option that says shop. So let's go over that. You're almost there. Now, all you have to do once you went through setting up your catalog and all of that is go on your Instagram app, tap the settings, tap business. You're gonna go to shopping and then continue done. I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds here as well to maybe take a screenshot of this, but we will also follow up after this and send it to you. Okay, perfect. So now you guys are all set with the shop. Hopefully it's showing up on Instagram. Hopefully you did the second step of going onto Instagram and actually adding the button so that it shows. Now we're going to go over a few things that you can do now. I know that a lot of you are familiar with tagging products on your post, which is the most basic thing that you can do, but I'm going to take it up a notch and show you guys a few new features that maybe you're not aware of. The first thing that we're recommending is for you to take posts that were generated by your customers, so maybe things that you were tagged on, and send them a request to tag the products on that photo itself. So if you're a retailer who gets a lot of content generated from, I don't know, customers maybe tagging you on proposal photos or anything like that, you may want to go back and ask for permission to just leverage that post and add your own products as well. So that's an option and something new that you guys should definitely just make sure you're taking advantage of. Tagging your stories. So this one is very, very simple. Once you have your stories, all you want to do is go to settings, look up the product, and it should show up there. Just to clarify, this is being done by adding a sticker. So you're not going to actually see an option that says shop. It's going to be through the sticker that says shopping. Customizing your shop. So you don't want to just set up your shop and then just leave it there. Again, aesthetics is everything. You know, you're competing with a lot of other online retailers. So you really want to make sure that your shop is set up to the best of its capabilities. Someone who maybe is on your team to make sure the products are all spelled correctly or that the experiences are set up correctly, that there's enough photos per product. That's very important. Creating collections. So this is where it really pays off to just have someone, again, who's sitting there and just making the most of your store. A lot of the popular brands nowadays are creating collections. This is an example of it down here. So doing things like, I don't know, every holiday season, creating a collection. Maybe if you have a sale, creating a collection with those sale items. If it's Mother's Day, for example, that's coming up, maybe it'll pay off to have a collection that's dedicated towards that. Perfect. So I'm going to give you guys a quick recap. And as promised, I'm adding the QR code down here with the link that you should be going to. If you're logged on to Facebook on your phone already, you should be able to follow through with this link. But again, we're going to resend this at the end of this webinar so that you guys also have the actual link accessible to you. So very quick recap. Number one, you need to make sure that you are setting up your commerce manager with your checkout of choice. So again, you have three options. You can either check out through your website, you can check out through the Facebook and Instagram app, or you can check out through Messenger, which is not something that is very specifically tailored for an industry like ours. But with that being said, we do recommend one of the first two. So after you're done with that, you want to create your first product catalog. For this, you do not have to add all of your immediate products. You can start with a few, you can come back to it later. Again, make sure that you're working with your brands, making sure that you're meeting their guidelines, really deciding what's going to go in there, and just setting up the right expectations. So again, maybe a product that's a certain price point may not sell online as well. So you don't want to get stuck in the predicament where you add all of this and then you see that you're not selling online because maybe you didn't spend enough time researching what products would move online the best. So after you have your catalog set up, you still need to turn on your Instagram shop. Your Instagram shop is not going to show up, even if you did the first two steps, until you go back and actually activate it on the settings. But once you have the first two done, then the third thing, which is turning on the shop, is something that takes only a few seconds. So the fourth is taking advantage of your shop features. This is really where it pays off to work with someone that's going to sit there and just visualize, okay, what's the best option for me? Because there's a lot of moving parts to this. There's some features that maybe you don't qualify for yet that you should have someone sit down and say, okay, well, what will it take for me to qualify to have the shopping feature? There's a lot that goes into it. So once this is all done, please, please, please make sure that you're actually making the most of all of the things that are available to you.